On May 7, 2025, Israeli fighter jets launched a series of airstrikes targeting Sanaa International Airport in Yemen. The operation was swift and precise, aiming to cripple the airport's operational capabilities. The attack caused significant damage to the airport's infrastructure. Runways were crippled, making it impossible for any aircraft to take off or land. The destruction was extensive, leaving the airport inoperable. The departure hall lay in ruins, with debris scattered everywhere. The once bustling terminal was now a scene of devastation, with shattered glass and twisted metal. A nearby military airbase was also hit in the strikes. Explosions rocked the base, causing significant damage to military installations and equipment. The strikes were a direct response to a missile attack on Tel Aviv, claimed by Yemen's Houthi rebels. The missile attack had caused widespread panic and damage in the Israeli city. Israel Defense Forces confirmed the strikes, stating that the airport was being used by the Houthis to launch attacks against Israel. The military emphasized that the operation was necessary to neutralize the threat. Images released showed the mangled remains of civilian aircraft, a testament to the destructive force unleashed. The wreckage of planes was scattered across the airport, highlighting the intensity of the strikes. At least 12 Yemeni civilians were reported dead, including airport staff and travelers caught in the crossfire. Emergency responders rushed to the scene, but the devastation was overwhelming. The strikes sent shockwaves through the region, raising fears of a broader conflict. Israel, however, remained defiant, asserting its right to defend itself against any threats. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, in a televised address, issued a stark warning. He declared that Israel will not hesitate to act against any entity, within or beyond its borders, that threatens its citizens. The message was clear: Israel's security is paramount, and any aggression will be met with decisive action. Just hours before the Sanaa airport attack, a volley of missiles fired from Yemen targeted Tel Aviv. The Iron Dome defense system intercepted most of the projectiles. However, one missile struck an industrial zone on the outskirts of the city, causing some structural damage but no casualties. The Houthi movement, a powerful Iran-backed rebel group controlling much of Yemen, claimed responsibility for the attack. A spokesperson speaking from Sanaa declared it was retaliation for Israel's continued aggression against the Palestinian people and its unholy alliance with oppressive regimes in the region. The attack marked a dangerous escalation by the Houthis, extending their reach far beyond the battlefields of Yemen. While the group has previously targeted Saudi Arabia with missiles and drones, this attack on Israel, a nation geographically removed from the Yemeni conflict, signaled their willingness to engage in a broader regional confrontation. The international community reacted with a mixture of condemnation and anxiety to the escalating violence in the Middle East. The United Nations Security Council held an emergency meeting, with many members expressing grave concerns. The UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, in a strongly worded statement, called for maximum restraint from all sides. He urged both Israel and the Houthis to avoid further actions that could drag the region into a wider war. He stressed the need for a return to dialogue and a negotiated solution to the conflict in Yemen. The United States, while reaffirming its commitment to Israel's security, expressed concerns over the rising tensions. The European Union echoed these sentiments, urging de-escalation and a peaceful resolution to the crisis. Section 4. Yemen's deepening crisis, a nation grappling with war and hunger. The situation in Yemen is dire, with the country facing one of the worst humanitarian crises in the world. The airstrikes on Sanaa Airport dealt another blow to a nation already reeling from years of war and a devastating humanitarian crisis. These airstrikes have not only destroyed vital infrastructure, but have also instilled fear and uncertainty among the population. Yemen, even before this latest escalation, was on the brink of famine. The ongoing conflict has exacerbated food shortages, leaving millions of people, especially children, at risk of starvation. The relentless conflict has decimated its infrastructure, crippled its economy, and displaced millions. Families have been torn apart, and communities have been shattered, with many forced to flee their homes in search of safety. The airport, despite the ongoing conflict, served as a crucial lifeline for the delivery of humanitarian aid. It was a beacon of hope for many, providing essential supplies to those in need. With the airport now severely damaged, aid agencies are struggling to reach those in desperate need. The destruction has made it nearly impossible to deliver food, medicine, and other critical supplies. Food, medicine, and essential supplies already in short supply are becoming even harder to come by. Hospitals are overwhelmed and medical supplies are running out, leaving many without the care they desperately need. The United Nations has warned of a catastrophic humanitarian situation unfolding in Yemen. They have called for immediate action to prevent further suffering and loss of life. The recent escalation, they fear, will push the already fragile country further into the abyss. The violence shows no signs of abating, and the future looks increasingly bleak for the people of Yemen. The world is watching, but for millions of Yemenis caught in this spiral of violence and deprivation, help cannot come soon enough. The international community must act swiftly to alleviate the suffering and bring hope to a nation in despair. Section 5. Shifting Sands. Iran's growing influence in a volatile region. The Houthi attack on Israel and the subsequent Israeli response have brought into sharp focus Iran's growing influence in the region. Iran's backing of the Houthis, both politically and militarily, is seen by many analysts as part of a broader strategy to challenge its regional rivals, primarily Saudi Arabia and Israel. By supporting proxy groups like the Houthis, Iran projects power beyond its borders at a relatively low cost. This approach allows Tehran to keep its adversaries off balance and expand its influence without direct military confrontation. The international community, particularly the United States and its allies in the region, view Iran's actions with increasing alarm. They accuse Tehran of fueling instability and undermining efforts to bring peace to the Middle East. Section 6. The Palestinian Question. A conflict ignited anew. The recent escalation in the Middle East has also raised significant concerns about the long-standing Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The situation has become increasingly volatile, with both sides experiencing heightened tensions and frequent clashes. The Houthis, in their statements claiming responsibility for the missile attack on Tel Aviv, explicitly linked their actions to the Palestinian cause. They have made it clear that their support for Palestine is unwavering, and that they see their struggle as interconnected. They vowed to continue targeting Israel in solidarity with the Palestinian people, emphasizing their commitment to the Palestinian struggle. This declaration has added another layer of complexity to the already intricate web of Middle Eastern conflicts. While geographically distant, the conflict in Yemen and the Israeli-Palestinian issue are increasingly intertwined. The Houthis' involvement has brought new dynamics to the forefront, making the situation even more unpredictable. The events in Yemen could embolden Palestinian militant groups, who might see an opportunity to exploit the situation and escalate their own fight against Israel. This potential for increased violence is a cause for concern among international observers. The international community is acutely aware of the potential for spillover. Diplomatic efforts are being intensified to prevent a broader regional conflict that could have far-reaching implications. A wider conflagration in the Middle East would have devastating consequences, not just for the region, but for the world. The interconnected nature of global politics means that instability in one area can quickly affect others. A just and lasting solution to the Palestinian question, though elusive, remains as urgent as ever. The international community must continue to strive for peace, recognizing that the stakes have never been higher.